Well, good evening and welcome back to another InCider Session. Nice to be here. Are you there, Adam?
Yeah, I'm here. It seems to be number 7, I think. Cheers, everybody.
Oh,
It's good to still be inside.
So, I think we should just get straight on with the first track. What is it tonight, Adam?
Well, you don't need me to introduce it because we have our normal introducer on hand.
Here we go then.
This one is really difficult to remember. It's called The Forgotten Wedding.
So that's a little tune that I wrote, and then Murray and I did what we always do, which is just to start and see where it ends up, see where it takes us.
It was quite curious for me because I honestly thought it was a traditional Scottish tune that Adam had found, but apparently not.
No, well, I hope not. Pretty sure I wrote it. You can never be absolutely confident with these things.
Possibly be a tune you heard in a cider-induced coma at
It's
some point?
always possible, although I can't say that I really drink cider on the whole.
No, you can't say it. Everyone else can, but yeah. Hey-ho.
So, yes, talking of cider, it is... I've no idea what I'm talking about, Murray. What are we trying to say here? What are we even doing? Is this some kind of live show?
I love it when things run smoothly and professionally, and yeah, I mean, people might think we know what we're doing if we're not careful.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, well, I sort of know what we're doing, and we were going to tell people a couple of bits of information. So I'll go first.
Good.
And we, unbeknownst to a lot of you, I suspect, we're actually up for sale.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, the Ciderhouse Rebellion is available for sale.
In what has turned out to be a ferocious bidding war.
Books will be written about this. It really has become quite legendary, I think. Let me explain. There is a wonderful Facebook group called the Folk Corona Auctions, where artists are putting up all sorts of things. So it can be artwork, recordings, paintings, pictures, all sorts of things that people have offered. And people put bids in, and the highest bid wins. Well, we have put forward a Ciderhouse concept. And what we are offering is that you select a tune. It has to be a traditional tune for all sorts of licensing rules and all that sort of stuff. But a traditional tune, so you could choose Winster Gallop. And you could say, I'd really like to hear what Winster Gallop would sound like if Ciderhouse did something to it. And so if you're the winner of the auction, we will do that. We will take the tune that you select and we will improvise around it. We'll record it in studio, in our two-note studio.
In the studio in the sense that Murray's in the studio and I'm in some random bit of the house the phone line reaches.
Yes, this is true. When I say we, I mean I will then mix it. It'll be produced onto a CD. Adam will do some custom artwork specially for you. And that will be sent to you. So up for auction is improvisation of your choice, provided to you by us.
And if you actually pay enough, you can have Murray as well, is my thought.
Yeah, it was what you thought. Yeah, I think we ought to move on. What
Maybe
were
we
you
should
going
talk
to tell
about
us
that
about,
later.
Adam?
Oh, yeah, okay, sorry.
You see what I have to work with. I mean,
Yeah,
really.
so apart from that, our world is very much the same as it has been. We're all stuck inside, are we not? We've been stuck inside trying to make music over the telephone, which we are succeeding, I think. Although there are times when we spend 4 hours trying to get the line to half function, and then suddenly it's faintly okay, so we record a 4-minute piece. And we've now actually got, I think we must have well over 100 minutes of music recorded, counting this week's stuff as well. And we are going to release a disc, the InCider Sessions, with our favourite bits of that, hopefully in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, that's the plan.
Slightly depends if my computers stop exploding in all directions, so I can do my share of selecting what we're doing and listening to the mix and all that.
Any time in the studio, really, but hey, we'll get there.
Yeah, how are Angus and Milo doing?
Oh, they're doing great. They're doing great. Thank you
Very good.
much.
So, what we're going to do now, speaking of people's children, Murray's being Angus and Milo, mine is Jessie, who you heard last week in that rather remarkable, I guess it's a poem, although whether it's still a poem when we're playing with it, I don't know. Anyway, it's a thing.
Yeah, we had lots of really, really positive response to it, lots of wonderful comments. Thank you for that. So we've done another one.
This one is about the persecution of medieval chickens. It's called Chickens. No. It's called The Harrying of the North.
Mine?
There you go. Oh, that was better. Ready?
Silken breeze, caressing green and plum blossoms ripple as the river washes after winter. Bright, young, white petals rise. Light falls deep into the earth. Healing warmth forges rebirth. Washed blue eyes yearn for life. And the yellow middle forgets strife. Forget me not in the soft air breathed in the hills, surrounding leaves. Silver night shattered in shadows. Tree line convulses death throes, and the deep heart of the wood beats like a drum. Cracking branches, hear them come. Slender pale stems, interrupted with shoots, moments taste of earth and roots. Daisies raise their children heads, slumberers wake from bountiful bed. Overhead calls, blackbird's song, feathers gleaming in the lengthening sun. Soul creeps by, the sun to outrun. Pale brown stems reach, their leaves are eyes that benignly bask, grieve. Circles of summers stand tall, and violets sprawl, and the bluebells crawl to the water's edge, and drinking their fill of the glinting, blinking, clear-tasting spring. Earth carries echoes of plaintive cries, of the infants inside, alive, before the flame and the ember and the turf in the night, and the blood, our fathers, in the shape of the white moon shining and crying. Starlight from above, defenseless, twisting ivy rescinds its hold, on the tall trunk of the elm reflecting gold, and the moment stretches out and the dandelions shout and twist their heads upwards. And the tinkling laughter of the stream, the child's laughter in a nascent beam. Many summers whisper their greeting in the fresh, green and fleeting. Primrose leaves wrinkle, memories of smiles twinkle in the yellow cream of the flower. Trembling rowan sways with Trembling rowan sways with 2 winters since, but the smoke on the wind won't die. Caught in my eye, greater fire not seen since Wayland Smith's forge, nothing between. Now the moon blushes red in the light of the burning in the night, and screams wrench at my yearning heart as I fight, run, clutch the cloth to my breast at his behest, and I run and fall and run, no torch ahead, only behind, as they light my mind with grief, and I run, and the silver takes my feet to the wood, and Woden's good, and I crouch in the dark, and I wait for the lark and the grey ash to fall. Meadows weep with the names of my dead, and flowers raise their born-again heads, and the ash it fell in swathes like the night. No use, no chance, no fight, only sword and famine and flames as the memories burnt the stores and swathes. The hawthorn sighs with the weight of the buds, and memories abate. For life, and the yellow middle forgets strife. Forget me not in the soft air breathes, in the hills surrounding leaves. Life spilling over in the setting sun, alone the world and the tale I spun. The river washes winter downstream as the buds gleam, and the birds sing, and their wings rustle the long-awaited green. Lullaby dreaming, in the heat of the day, blue waits on the return of the May, and the hum of bees lulls me away. Lullaby dreaming, in the heat of the day, blue waits on the return of the May, and the hum of bees lulls me away.
So, thank you. That's it's quite a serious poem, really, isn't it? The first time you start, it all feels so positive and happy and light, and then it suddenly shifts. So, Jessie, welcome. It's lovely to have you with us. How are you doing this week?
I'm all right. I'm in lockdown.
Well,
I
yes,
think
true.
we all are.
True.
No, it's been one of those weeks where you can't quite remember what's happened in it, but it's been quite nice, I think, actually. It's been sunny for the most part.
Yeah,
I think
from
you were
what I
quite
can
helpful
remember,
a
I think it
couple of
has
Was I
been.
helpful?
Yeah.
You were helpful a couple of times.
What did I do?
Don't know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I made dinner.
That's
So-
what it
There we go.
Anyway, moving past that,
Moving on.
another one of your poems. Tell us a bit about it, please.
So this one is set a little bit earlier than the last one, and it's set in the... no. That's all wrong. Ignore me. It's set earlier than the last one, and...
That's what you said.
No, yes,
You can't now
but
say that's wrong.
No, that's not wrong. It is set earlier than the last one, and it is about the event called the Harrying of the North, which was in the winter of 1069 to 1070, and the event itself was basically William the Conqueror's... he put down a rebellion, basically. So in the north, they didn't like him at all. I mean, you wouldn't. He wasn't being very nice particularly. But they made a very large fuss and bother to him. And he repaid them by slaughtering as many as he could. He burnt the villages. He burnt the grain stores.
He salted the land, I
Yes,
think,
he
as well, so
salted the
they
land.
couldn't regrow crops.
So there's a report which says... It's slightly dubious with all the dates, you can never quite tell, but it says, until this day, nothing grows. And it's something about 60 years-ish from the time that this person was writing. So it was all quite serious, really.
Yeah.
And the poem is sort of a meditation on that event from, as you were saying, a place of relative happiness and beauty, and how it kind of creeps in the edges.
Yeah. So you're I mean, I know you're not at the moment, you're in lockdown, but you're studying at the moment, you're at university.
I am still studying.
Yes, well, okay, fair enough, aren't we
Ish.
all? But one has to ask, why so depressed? I mean, really? Is it your father? I mean, I could imagine living with Adam. Well, most of us would get quite depressed, really.
I don't think it's depression, I think it's frustration, confusion and occasional irritation.
Oh, I know that one, yeah.
You should see the house, it's covered in wires. The entire house. It
I think
looks like
possibly
Christmas
I
gone
can't
wrong.
really get involved in that sort of conversation without getting into trouble myself. So.
I'm not saying. Go up on my stool.
No, don't stop it.
Yes, well, so I think, are we going to get any more poems from you?
Yes.
Endlessly, I think.
Endlessly, indeed. There's been rather a proliferation of poems.
There's another 4 that
There's
I've
another...
seen.
No, there's more.
That I've seen. Oh no, I've seen more. Anyway, there are another 4 that I think are coming our way, Murray, for what I
Excellent.
think could be quite an exciting little collaboration.
It is very exciting, and they are all sort of set in the early medieval period, which, as I think I said last week, was a sort of time of
Being
changing
medieval.
powers and different people colonising each other, and amongst it all, a very strong sort of belief in humanity and just how everything worked was a lot simpler.
It's
But it
also,
was
of
odd.
course, when the accordion was most popular as well.
Yes.
It's certainly gone downhill since it was invented.
Indeed. I don't think it was invented during the
No,
medieval
it wasn't.
period, you know.
That's the point.
I think they had it
We can
better.
explore that one perhaps another week.
Yes.
Okay, so, Adam.
So moving on from, actually, as it turns out, from my daughter to your son, Angus. Thank you, Jessie. Children's literature. It's not so very long since Jessie was enjoying children's books. And I happen to know that Angus very much enjoys a book by, I think it's Julia Donaldson, called The Highway Rat. And that inspired rather my thinking behind the naming of a track that we finished. When was it? Maybe Saturday or something. I can't remember. Yes. Thank you, Jessie. So I think it's a tune called The Highwayman's Rat, and I think Jeremy Bird is upset by the vermin focus. Anyway, I think it's time we heard it before anything further happens.
Yes, I think you can tell that the challenges of remote recording are being shown tonight, in that I can't see what on earth those two are up to. So I think best playing the music rather than listening to any more of this insanity.
This one is called The Highwayman's Rat, which is silly. Who would want a rat when you could have a chicken? Wah! Like me.
So there you go. As I said, when these things happen remotely and you can't see each other, neither of us knows what's going on. It's a complete nightmare. So I would like to one day find out what on earth those two were up to. Because when they're left alone, you get such things as that video edit. Hey ho. And so that brings us smoothly onto the moment that I think we've all been waiting for. It's time for Jeremy.
So Jeremy, it's raining hard today. Is that making any difference to your time in lockdown?
I can't go in the garden.
Yeah. And how's
So I get in trouble. Because I find shoes.
Yes. How's lockdown been generally for you? Jeremy? So the rain isn't helping, but how's lockdown been generally? Has music been helping you through?
I'm so tired.
Tired?
Up late.
Why?
Recording.
Who was recording you?
Not me.
Ah.
So noisy.
Ah.
Can hear Murray.
Yeah, that is bad. I agree.
Even through headphones can hear him.
Ah.
And you.
Oh.
Noisy.
Okay. Yes. Thank you, Jeremy. Okay, words of wisdom from Jeremy there, as always. We're going to finish with a more gentle and a good track to send you off to sleep, unless it's a bit early for that. But you could always play it again later, I guess. It saves on this Facebook Live stuff, and I guess on the YouTube too.
I'm ready to sleep.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. Me too, after some of the things that have been occurring in my life technologically. One of the beauties of this is we have to, after we've recorded, put the videos together, which has turned out to kill both of my Macs this time. It's not really an advert for Mac, but I don't care at this point.
Mine are working fine, by the way.
Good, that's lovely. So, yeah, as I say, a gentle, reflective track, a bit like some of the stuff on our CD Untold, which we released, I think, in February, and it's had some lovely reviews and a lot of nice comments from people who I imagine some of you are listening tonight. I think Murray's probably holding a copy up as we speak, and there are links here on, I guess, Facebook, YouTube, as this is going out live, and no doubt in posts when it's been put up afterwards. Also, links for the disc of these InCider Sessions, because after all, we are not going out to do any gigs for the foreseeable future, so your only chance to hear it again is either to buy it, which is a good idea in my opinion, or to listen to it free on these platforms, which might be a better idea in your opinion. We will see.
They won't get the creative artwork though.
Ah, that's true.
And it is being properly remixed and all the rest of it, so
Yeah,
actually it will
yes,
sound better
yes.
on CD.
Good.
And there is, of course, one other link that we always float around. It's always a bit of a strange one, this, but due to the nature of being locked up, we're not able to go out to gigs. We can't meet you there. We can't join you at the bar and so on and so forth. So we're missing out on seeing everybody. And obviously, when we see people, it's nice to drink coffee. You know, our sort of coffee. But there are these wonderful systems. So if you would be so wonderfully lovely as to consider us worthy of a cup of coffee, there is a link whereby you could purchase us a virtual coffee. Many of you already have, and it has been very much appreciated. So the link is down below or wherever these things go. I can never remember. Anyway, it'll be somewhere.
But that aside, it's lovely that you're all joining us again, and we hope you've enjoyed what we've had tonight. And this, as I say, gentle, lovely track to finish. It's called Sleeping Awake, slightly in Murray's honour, I would suggest, in these days of untold locked up children in his house.
This one is called Sleeping Awake. I don't understand it. No.
Well, thank you everybody for joining us this Tuesday evening. It's been a pleasure to chat to you. Less a pleasure, obviously, coping with Adam and Jessie.
It's very kind of you, Murray, as always.
Yes, joking aside, it's always fun. So, see you all, hopefully, next time, 8:30 next Tuesday, and for more of the same.
Thank you very much, everybody.
Good night.